Hello and welcome to Wildcat Science with Mrs. Haugo. As you know, we are studying human biology. We will start with Chapter 1, Organization of the Human Body. As we are going through this, please make sure you are writing the notes down. Feel free to pause anytime you need more time. And also, if you have questions about the video or about the content, write those in the margin of your notes and we can go over them in class. I will also be asking you sometimes to write down some questions, answers to some questions. So you can do that in your notes or on the margins also. In class, we will be reading about Mike's case, emergency care and possum system failure. You'll want to think if you're going to be a radio person, Ed, Samantha, or the narrator. So starting out with studies of the human body. Anatomy deals with the structure or morphology of the body and its parts, whereas physiology deals with the study of the function of these parts. Structure and function is a very important concept in human biology. The functional role of a body depends on how it is constructed and vice versa. I would like you to pause the video and write down an example of a part and its structure and how it helps it do the function it has, how the structure helps its function. Now, resuming the video, I have some examples and I would also like you to be able to, I'm going to ask you about this in class. So, the hand. The physiology of a hand is grasping objects. What about the structure of the hand allows it to do that efficiently? The heart. The physiology of the heart is to pump blood. What about the structure of the heart allows it to do its function? And finally, the mouth. The physiology of the mouth is receiving food. What about its structure helps it do its function? We're going to look at the different levels of organization of the human body, starting with the smallest one, the atom. An example of an atom is a carbon atom. When you have several atoms or many atoms together, you have a molecule. One example of a molecule is phosphate. Macromolecule is, just as the word suggests, a very large molecule. There are many biologically important macromolecules. One of them is a phospholipid, which is very important in the cell membrane. If you remember back to biology, when we did the bubble solution lab and studied membranes, we were talking about the phospholipid bilayer and cell membranes. Now, organelles are a bunch of macromolecules together. An example is the mitochondria. Many organelles working together will make up a cell, and there are several different types of cells. Epithelial cell is one example. We will study this in our next section, chapters 2, 3, and 4. Many cells working together make up a tissue. So many epithelial cells working together would make up an epithelial tissue. Then also, when you have many tissues working together, you get an organ. Lung is an example of an organ. I would like you to pause the video and write down 2 more examples of organs in the human body. Several organs working together make an organ system. Your respiratory system is one example of an organ system. I would like you to pause the video and write 1 more example of an organ system. Putting all those organ systems together, and you get a body. For example, you. Let's look at some pictures of the human body and the organizational levels. Starting out with the smallest is an atom. Several atoms make a molecule. Again, please pause the video, and this is a specific molecule. I would like you to take a guess. Several molecules together will make a macromolecule. Macromolecules will make up an organelle, and this is a mitochondria. If you remember from biology, the powerhouse of the cell. This is a cell, and many cells working together make up a tissue, and tissues working together make up an organ. This is the stomach, and then many organs working together make up an organ system. So take a guess in your head what this organ system is. The digestive system. And then organ systems working together make up an organism. So just a reminder, we are in human biology, so we will be seeing pictures of the human body. And I know that you are all mature enough to see pictures. We are going to be going over the body systems briefly in Chapter 1, and then we will be spending quite a bit of time in each system as the year goes by. Starting off with the integumentary system. The integumentary system, the organs and tissues involved with that are skin, hair, nails, and glands in the skin. The function of the integumentary system is that it protects against injury, infection, and fluid loss. This is a very important system, and it is the first one we will be studying. Support and movement systems include the skeletal system and the muscular system. Organs involved in the skeletal system include bones. The function of the skeletal system is to provide a framework for the body and much, much more. We'll be going more in depth into that. The muscular system includes skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. The function is that it allows the body to move, to maintain posture, and smooth muscles move food through your body and more. Now you have to integrate and coordinate all your systems, and the nervous system and the endocrine system are very good at doing these functions. Starting out with the nervous system, it involves the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. It allows your organs to sense everything, and also it controls everything in your body. Anything that happens goes through the nervous system. The endocrine system includes glands and also hormones, and it will regulate body functions like growth, metabolism, sleep, reproduction, and much, much more. Well, you need to transport molecules throughout your body. The cardiovascular system and the lymphatic system are very important for that. Cardiovascular system includes the heart and blood vessels. Blood carries nutrients to tissues and waste away from tissues. And the lymphatic system includes lymph nodes and lymph vessels. The function of the lymphatic system is that it will return fluids from tissues to the blood, and also it helps with immunity. Now, looking at absorption and excretion systems, we have the digestive system, the respiratory system, and the urinary system. Starting with the digestive system, it includes the mouth, the esophagus, the small and large intestines, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. The function is to take food and convert it into nutrients the body can use. The respiratory system includes the mouth, trachea, and lungs. Its job is to circulate oxygen to the tissues and take carbon dioxide away from the body's tissues. Your excretory or urinary system includes your kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. It will get rid of waste and extra water. And finally, the reproductive system. It includes all internal and external reproductive organs and allows for the production of offspring. This one is unique in that you do not need it to be alive, but you do need it for the species to continue. We are going to talk about a very important concept called homeostasis. Homeostasis means maintaining a state of internal balance. It literally means same state. Some examples include body temperature, blood pH, and composition of body fluids. Before we jump into the homeostatic mechanism diagram here, I would like to go back and talk a little bit more about these examples of homeostasis. Body temperature. Please pause the video and write down what is the range of normal body temperatures. And think about what would happen if your body were lower or higher than that normal range. Blood pH. Perhaps you don't know the normal blood pH. It is between 7.45 and 7.55. If you go below or above that, it is not a good situation, and if it is not corrected quickly enough, your body will start to shut down and die. Thirdly, composition of the body fluids. So your cells and the water, the interstitial tissues, the interstitial fluid around the cells need to be at a consistent level of water to salt balance. I want you to think back to biology when we did the example, we did the lab with the dialysis tubes and we put them in different amounts of sugar, and think about what happened when there was more sugar than in the dialysis tube versus the solution where there was less sugar than in the dialysis tube. And think about what would happen in your body if your cells were not bathed in an isotonic solution, which is the same concentration. We'll talk about that in class. Now looking at this homeostatic mechanism, this is a great example, and we will look at one that involves your body in a second, but it works great for an analogy. So your normal room temperature range is represented here, and as the temperature increases, the thermostat detects the change and it does some function, takes an action. The heater turns off and the air conditioner turns on. I would like to hope that you don't go straight from heating to turning the air conditioner on just to save energy, but we need to talk about it that way for the body analogy. So the room temperature returns towards its set point and everything is happy. If the opposite thing happened, where the room temperature decreased below its normal range, the thermostat would detect the change, and the heater would turn on, and the air conditioner would turn off, and the room temperature would return back to its normal room temperature, its set point. Let's look at what happens in the body. So you have a normal body temperature, and sometimes your body temperature increases, and the thermostat is the hypothalamus, which is a gland in your brain. It detects the change, and it will cause a change in your body. Two things: increased sweating and dilation of blood vessels. The increased sweating, you know, the sweat will evaporate off your skin, and that will cool your body down. Whereas dilation of skin blood vessels, dilation means they are getting bigger, so more blood is flowing right by the surface of your skin, and the blood, the heat in the blood dissipates to the environment. Those return the body temperature to its normal range, and we are going to pick up there in our next video.